Welcome to the very first episode of Not Another Podcast. You're tuning to it, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I am not alone. I am with my homie who's actually helping me unpack what we'll be talking about today. But I feel like you should introduce yourself.
Most definitely. Finally.
We've been waiting for this moment.
Bro. But anyway, my name is Ulukolo Waganondlwana, aka the real Mufasa. Man, I'm so happy to be here.
I can't stress how much I'm grateful that
Definitely.
you're here, to think how much I've wanted this to happen,
Right.
and how me and you've been talking back and forth
Exactly.
about shooting it and doing this and things not going the way we planned them, but finally we're here, and I can't be happier.
Definitely. And the irony of this podcast being not another podcast. Now, please tell me, how did this come about? Because I know that you've wanted to start your own podcast,
Yeah.
but I also know you've studied, I think, journalism.
Yeah.
So what made you want to start this podcast?
Okay, so the name of the podcast, first of all, is Not Another Podcast. So how did I come about Not Another Podcast? So I remember 2 years ago, I've been trying to start this. I remember 2 years ago trying to fix up a podcast, trying to make it run and trying to have people and guests to come through. One day I'm having a guest, the other I'm not having a place to shoot and everything like that. So most of the times when I was sitting down, actually, I was thinking, maybe at some point this thing is not going to work. Literally, it's not going to work because sometimes I'm winning, other days I'm not winning. So I'm like, okay, with other podcasts running and happening, are people even going to subscribe? Like, am I even going to channel the people I want? Uti bazobukela, is this going to happen? So, and then I was like, okay, why don't we call it Not Another Podcast? Because in my head, I thought people were going to be like, why are we watching this? What's the reason for this?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, we already have a lot of podcasts happening.
Exactly, man. So
Oh my goodness, not another podcast.
wasn't
you
that
know?
thing actually even stressing you more, knowing that there's a lot of people
It is
doing
yeah.
podcasts now?
It still is, because I'm thinking,
Definitely.
oh my goodness, what's going to be special about my
Exactly.
podcast? Because a lot of people are doing this. But we're here today. And another background check about me also, I'm a journalism student. I will not mention my institution. I mean, yeah. I'm a journalism student. So for me, I studied journalism because I couldn't afford schools like AVDA and all of that. So I was like, okay, let me just go and get into this institution and I'll study journalism.
Yeah.
This whole time I'm into broadcasting, right? But then I'm like, there's not even a radio at my institution. I can't even practice this. So at some point I did VOW FM, Voices of Vets. I used to go to Daily Theatre trying to prep myself.
Yeah.
Okay, when I'm live, even live, what is going to happen? Or how does it feel like to be live?
Yeah.
So I've been running Josie like that, trying to get to where I wanted to be. In fact, trying to get to this day.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And look at you now.
I'm
Are
here.
You are here. Now, with starting anything, it really comes with challenges. So what was
lot.
actually challenging you to actually even start this thing?
Okay. I think, like I mentioned also, from the beginning was, I wish I went to a school that was actually going to prep me more as to how broadcasting it is, how far we can go with it, or how is the industry on its own overall. So my first challenge was, now I'm in an institution, I'm studying journalism, but I'm into broadcasting. Around me, there aren't any resources to help me or enhance my talent.
Yeah.
So that was struggle number one. But two, I came with a solution. I said, I'm in Joburg, all the way from the Eastern Cape, Alice. Alice, literally rapping Alice, like no joke, So I'm like, I can't come from that place to Gauteng, Joburg, where dreams manifest and become a reality. So I have to literally make something out of that. So that's when I went to radio stations like Vow FM, and I did a daily theater. So recently I was at home. I'm literally standing in a queue at Spa.
Sure.
Ufigo Musisi, a next door neighbor at my from my hood.
Yeah.
So she says to my mom, Sisando bonumtanako etivini. We just saw your daughter on TV, and my mom is like, "You mihlali niyasjongisa." You know. So I was like, for me, that was it meant that whatever I was doing, it was being noticed. It didn't matter how small it was, but the fact that, you saw me, so it means my efforts are actually going somewhere.
True.
So challenge number 1 was that I'm in an institution and I feel like nothing here is enhancing my talent. 2, I think this one was very internal. It was literally self-doubts. Like, you'll sit down and come with a lot of ideas and think. And then when things are not happening,
you actually start doubting yourself. Exactly,
I
right?
You know about this because I know you also graduated in acting, right?
Yeah, it was in acting, yeah.
And I always look at actors and actresses and I'm like, how do you guys do it? How do you stand there and believe that I am going to make this, or I'm going to be the best, or this is my role,
Yeah.
So I literally sat there and I was like, a lot of doubt in my head. At some point when my podcast wasn't going the direction I wanted it to go, I felt like it's not going to happen.
Was there a point you just probably thought, no, this is probably not what I really want now?
Yes. Oh my God, that is such a good question.
Right.
I think 2 weeks ago, after trying, I had proposed this at my institution, right?
Yeah.
That I want to start this and whatnot, and they were for it. And then they're shooting a podcast and I'm not a part of it.
What?
But I'm like, we talked about this, my niggas. What? We talked about this.
Yeah.
And then at some point I felt like, okay, so when I'm sitting down and planning all these things, and I'm a spiritual person, I believe in God so much. I think it's Him that has actually brought me here today.
Most definitely.
So I'm at my place and I find out about this. So I found out about this at the elevator. So I've been saying, when you're excited, like, this is going to happen. I'm going to do this, So a lot of people know about you also. You're known around campus, but the people that are close to you that, okay, Mihlali is going to do this. Now they see this happening and they like, this is happening. Where are you?
Exactly.
I went home and I was like, okay, maybe it's time to give up, Maybe it's time to stop and quit, and maybe I'm not made for this, maybe I don't have it in me to do this anymore, because I was like, no, how can I work on something like this? And when they were talking to me, they were speaking in a way that was promising that this is really going to happen. It's
really going to happen. Like, they were actually really
call
buying
me
it.
and tell me or email me like how we communicated that it's not going to be possible because of A, B, and C. Okay, you can even shoot them. It's okay. You know?
So wait. You went there?
I went there. I probably had maybe 2 to 3 meetings.
With them?
Yes, with them in person. It started
and
with
they were
an
really
email.
like buying it.
But sold. Done. This is it.
Then the next thing, they just ghosted you like that.
That was that moment when I felt like, oh no, maybe I should stop. Because I'm so tired of living in my mind.
Yeah.
And it's not becoming a reality. At some point, you're going to feel crazy. I felt crazy, Mufasa.
Right.
I felt crazy. Most of the times I feel crazy because I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wanting things that are very far-fetched, for me. So that's the point where I felt like, no, you know what? Maybe this is not for me. So it came back to that self-doubt thing. And then I kept on doubting myself even more. But little did I know that the more I doubted, the closer I was getting.
The closer that you are.
The closer I was getting. And that's why we're doing this today.
Most definitely, because I also feel like me and you, your stories are kind of similar because
That's why you're here.
there was actually my boy.
That's why
Yeah,
you're
now.
here.
You know, there was actually a point
Yeah.
in my life that I was just really depressed. You know,
Yo. As a creative,
like as a
most
creative,
creatives
I
are
was
very
there,
depressed.
like actually doing a reality check, and I was like questioning myself: is this really what you want to do? You know, what if you are just really not good enough? You know, I won't lie, I had the toughest past 2 years. You know, and then last year
Yeah.
things were like actually kicking on.
Yeah.
You know,
Because I
was
remember when you came to my place and you were telling me about
Right?
this. I could tell that
most
you were
definitely,
so
I
excited.
had that
And
fire now
and I'm like,
back in me. I'm like,
should it happen or should it not happen? Or if I'm able to help him or if I'm not able to help him, I am going to help him. Like, there is no way. Because I could tell that you are truly excited for it and you can feel that, yo, this thing is going to land.
most definitely, yes. So I was like, hey, I am this close. There's no way you are giving up. And I also had a similar thing to my previous institution. I mean,
Yeah.
I was going to work with this other dude, which
Yeah.
was also
Yeah.
a fallout. But I was like, no, I'm still doing this,
Yeah.
you know, and look where we are now, you know, you doing it and like, and this is also giving me like actually confidence. So I'm very proud of you.
You're
I'm
very proud of me.
definitely very
I'm proud of
you.
myself too. You
Right?
know, as I know we share mutual people that I know that when they see this episode, they're gonna be so excited. Avela. I know they're gonna be so excited for this because I don't know how many times have we both mentioned this in our circles that we want to do this. Let's do this. Let's do whatever. So today I truly am I feel blessed more than anything because I think my morning prayer today was even like, thank God that this is happening. I know now it doesn't look like it's big, you know, but thank you for even the little things that you're doing because this means so much. Because me and you know how much it took for us to get here.
Most definitely.
Literally.
Most definitely.
So what it was literally, so going back to the challenges you were asking me about, I think too, I told you it was inner, it was inside, it was self-doubt, and I kept on thinking, no, you know what, I don't think it's possible. Also, I do want to mention a situation of money. You have got to inject in your brand, in anything and everything that you're trying to do. Money has to be put in. You have to. So the little that I have, I'm always trying to inject it to the podcast to grow.
Most definitely.
Or the podcast to happen because I'm not just doing this by myself. I give credit to everyone that's working with me. It literally isn't just my work alone, but is a work of a team. So at some point, I know that even if now it may look like, we don't have a lot, you know, but I know that the little that we will have, it has to be injected. Right. So one of the things was also money because you go out there and you seek for assistance from creatives. And I understand it's Joburg. We all want money. We're trying to pay rent. We're trying to buy electricity, groceries, you know, the inflation and prices, our economy is upside down. So I truly understand when people tell me that, but I need this amount of money. You know, but then I'm going on the streets there and I'm trying to beg people, convince them that, can we invest in this? It might just be the biggest thing ever. You never know,
right?
And I'm always willing to work with creatives like you as well, so that we put each other on. That's what I'm trying to do. Because the same way you're putting me on, I'm putting you on as well.
Exactly. True.
So money was also one of the problems. I think number 4. One of my biggest challenge was the fact that when I go home after a year, this one literally, I feel like at some point I had mild depression about it. So I'm studying good, but I had nothing to show what I'm studying, you know? And I'm someone who was always stuck up into... when I'm going to be on social media, I'm not just there for for the sake of being on social media. What
The
am
whole
I
glam
doing?
and everything.
You know,
Yeah, right.
we love glam, we love beauty, we love all of that. But
And
my
one thing, sorry,
yeah.
one thing that I always say that people post actually what they really want other people like to see.
Exactly.
Like, let's not get fooled always by social media, always
You
the
can't.
gram, because it's not all of that. You know,
Behind
people
the
actually
scenes.
work hard
Behind the scenes.
Exactly, right?
The final product looks finished and done. And if people, there was a point where I felt like when I was going through it with the build-up of shooting this podcast, I felt like I wish I could have a mini documentary, excuse me, a mini documentary of everything I've been going through. Behind closed doors to get
the
to
whole
this,
sweets and everything, the
because
tears.
one thing about me, I am literally trying to be relatable. You know, I am literally trying to be relatable. So I don't want you to think it was easy, it was whatever. Also, I think I forgot on my intro as well, and I'm sorry to everyone who actually going to view this. But in my intros, I forgot to tell you, before moving to Joburg, I was a university student at University of Forte. So I dropped out and I moved this side. Because Ndikula...
Why did you drop out?
I dropped out because... Okay, let's start this from afresh. So I passed matric, right? All right. Then I'm caught up between Cape Town and... what's
Joburg.
this? No. Cape Town and Alice, University of Forte. Oh. So this is what happens. Mama, now I want to be a presenter. All of my life, I've wanted, you know, but I do want to give a huge shout out. So much love to my mom. She always understood. When I was still young, that Michelle wants this, you know. Right. So in primary, they would be like, what's this? Maybe we're having an assignment, we have to go and present this on science week or whatever. I wasn't doing science, I was never into it, but I was always chosen to present it. Fast forward, I pass. Mama, that dream, I still want to do it. So, you know, when you pass good enough to get to university, you know, bachelor's pass these days, that's how we talk, they will tell you, listen, why don't you study something that is going to be fruitful for the future, you know? Something that's guaranteed, you know? Because where you want to go, it really isn't, you know? You don't have a fixed salary, you know? So then I was caught in between. Okay, I was like, okay, let me do it, right? I go to university. Yeah, hey, we had it lit. Had it lit. Okay, then along the way, I decide that, no, you know,
this is not you.
This is not me. 2 years down, a bun in the oven. Literally a bun in the oven. And I'm like, oh no, this is my cue to leave. That time we're approaching COVID. So I decided to stay at home, drop out, stay at home. Let me take my responsibility, raise my baby for a good year. The following year, I'm like, Mama, we're getting older now. I need to go. I literally need to go. I can't stay here any longer.
And how did she take it? How does the family actually take that whole thingy that, hey, you don't want to do this, you know, this is not actually for you. How do you let them trust you on that? Knowing that now you had dropped out, basically. Yeah,
and that was literally the most difficult part. So with my mom, to answer your question, with my mom, both my parents, I think, both of them, there was a lot of disappointment. Because we are investing in this child.
Exactly.
And not that wasn't for me. I have plans and I'm trying to plant it to the universe because I'm going to finish off what I studied. But I feel like I should have done it the other way around. I should have started with the calling and then did the academics as well later. Because either way, my calling was catching up with me. It was going to catch me. That's why I decided to drop out. So my parents, both of them were disappointed. Ne? Okay, Umtanetu now is dropping out. There's an entire human being. You're supposed to have a degree. You have a human being to show us. Greatly disappointed. I think my dad couldn't take it the most. But my mom, I think what grounded her was the fact that, but I know that she's always wanted this from a young age, right? So my dad works at the military. So most of the times we are very much exposed to my mom. So my mom, if anything, she knows us best, you know? But my dad is such a supportive dad. Regardless, irrespective.
Shout out to your dad, man.
Shout out to my dad.
There's definitely not a lot of dads.
Shout out to my dad, right? So they're both disappointed. My mom could at least say, but this is something she's always wanted. So my dad was like, ish, we'll see. So I'm here trying to convince them that.
So your mom actually gave you the green light.
My mom gave me the green light. But she's like, Mihlali, you better get it right this time around. Because we have to prove it to your father that I'm not just spoiling you, but actually you're really chasing something.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying today I'm so blessed to be here, because God has been working with me, walking with me, literally, because it hasn't been easy at all. You can imagine coming back home and you're from Joburg and you're thinking, ish, okay, maybe I thought coming to Joburg things were just it's gonna work, it's magic.
Yeah.
But can I tell people who want to come to Joburg, you have to walk the walk, hey?
It definitely,
you have to.
It takes hard work. It takes consistency. Definitely.
If you don't believe what we're saying, come through yourself. But remember these words, like for real. You have to walk the walk, talk the talk. Every time when you feel like it's too dark or you feel like you're going down, you gotta believe in yourself that you're going to make it. You know, so that's how I was emphasizing that I'm very spiritual. I believe in God so much. I was praising Him even when I felt like it's dark. I can't see anything to prove, but okay, there's a direction. There wasn't anything giving me light that, or giving me hope that it was going to be good at the end. But I was praising Him. Either way, like, I know you're going to do this for me. So that's why I'm happy to be today. But for my parents, they were both disappointed. My dad now, I think he's literally calming down, and maybe this
you can see the movement
I think this will make him believe that okay, you know, let's see what we're talking about. But I can't stress how much both of my parents are very supportive.
Yeah, man, that's fantastic.
Truly.
Now, I just want to touch on your baby now.
Yeah.
This is your own baby, right?
Hi, Dalo.
Now, definitely, there are plenty of podcasts. We did say this.
Yeah.
What is your podcast going to bring?
Okay. So
that's different,
right? And I was like, this question makes me anxious. It makes me anxious simply because even when I had we talked about my challenges, and I told you one of them was self-doubt, because I was doubting myself. So I was like, what's going to be special about this one, but when I sat down and I said, maybe what's going to be special is that I truly believe in channeling real life stories.
True, right?
Real life stories.
And definitely,
that's who I am. That's who I am. And the people I'm probably going to have on this podcast, I'm hoping that they will inspire other people.
A lot of people.
Better yet, even have collaborations, have sponsorships as well. Because look at today's episode. I'm shooting my podcast, but I know about you, so I had to bring you in. So if anything, I want us to collaborate. Yeah. I want us to be relatable to people, to how we are going to rise, where we're going, because I want us to be honest with our journey. If anything, I truly want to tell real life stories, relatable ones, conversations that are going to build nations, one day at a time, one conversation at a time.
Most definitely. And you would never know how much lives that you'd be touching.
And you never know.
Different stories, experiences, whereas someone that could say that, I relate on what Mihlali M is is saying, right?
yeah.
Then just to make a podcast, because a lot of people now are just making podcasts to just troll people.
That's why I said, oh my goodness, not another podcast. Because
Exactly.
I'm sure that's what people think.
Right,
Not
yeah,
another one.
we're gonna be sitting here, we're gonna be chopping everything. What happened to this? What happened to to all these gatekeepers?
Smash or pass.
And
there's nothing absolutely wrong about that, but I think I'm someone who wanted progress. That's me. I want us to build each other. And shout out to my camera guy also. We literally met on Sunday. On Sunday we met. Okay, do you mind coming? Please come introduce yourself. I want to tell them. They need to see you. He's shy, so he's going to be brief about it. You introduce yourself.
Just tell us who's your name, who you are, what you do.
And your socials as well.
Okay, the real name is Theophilus Nsandabari. I'm a photographer, you see. In my IG.
Come this side. Don't be nervous. Don't worry. This is a safe space.
Okay, start. Okay, from the beginning. You can start introducing yourself.
Let's go.
The real name is Theophilus Nsandabari. I'm a photographer, as you can see. Yeah, my IG handle is Tai Shorty. That's why I post my work most of it.
Shout out. So guys, quick story about him. We met on Sunday. So he tells me what he does and whatever. And I'm like, what? For real? Okay, so I tell him I'm shooting something. This is what I'm going to be doing, whatever. Ish. Right now, I'm still starting from ground up. So if anything, if you want exposure and you want to work with a team, come and join us. And then we'll definitely sort things as the podcast builds up.
Yeah.
I literally felt so blessed when I met him because who would just say, okay, I'll do it just like that on the spot. And he was actually telling me today, when you're in Joburg, you meet a lot of people who will be telling you that we're shooting, we're working, we're doing this, and people don't pull up. So he's like, today I thought you're literally gonna drop me, but we're actually doing something, So I can't stress how much I'm also grateful that he's part of the team. Thankful to you as well. Thankful to Upabalo, who is literally going to be behind the scenes, editing, doing all of this. I can't stress how grateful I am. Yes. But you were asking me something about my baby.
Most definitely, yeah, because I was telling
Sorry,
you that.
guys, we'll get it right.
I was telling you now that this is actually your own baby.
Yeah,
your own podcast.
it is. It is.
So
it is to think of it.
Where do you want it
to go?
I know that you just said you want to tell different stories that people can relate to, but what is probably your main goal and objectives about this?
So as I studied journalism, obviously we are surveillance of our communities and societies. We keep in check on what is happening around us, right? So one thing for sure I want to do is I hope this podcast is not only going to channel stories and things that are happening only here around us in South Africa or in Johannesburg. I pray and hope that one day we'll be channeling stories all over Africa. I'm praying that from Africa we're moving to the world. And if I had to make a wish, New York. I feel my career is going to work there so well. I don't know. Maybe I'm dreaming too much. Vogue, because we have a module that we do, like we create magazines and all of that. So I'm always like, I think I could also work in editorial at some point in my life, because I also love fashion as well. No, I don't know if I should say, but I'm not going to mention it. My second episode, I'm literally having an episode with someone who I find as very authentic. I think that authenticity moves and aligns with his brand. So you guys better watch out for the second episode. I truly love the person who I'm going to interview, and I truly believe in his brand, but I can't mention it and spoil it. So
most definitely don't even spoil it.
I don't want to spoil it.
You guys just need to tune in.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil it. So if anything, it's from Africa to the world. Let's tell stories, relatable ones as well. Right. And also, let's collaborate. from South
Let's
Africa.
work as a team, guys.
Somewhere in
Most
Africa,
definitely.
somewhere overseas, and let's build the future together.
Right.
Definitely.
Now, I know that you are a very person that's very spiritual.
I am very
You know?
much so.
When did you realize that you're spiritual? Because like we've got a lot of people that can easily just say that, no, I'm a very spiritual,
Very spiritual person.
or I'm a spiritual healer, or I'm a what. There are too many gogos around here.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you one of them?
So with me, no. That's what I want to clarify. I don't have anything to show for it. No, I'm not. I have to clarify it. When I say I'm spiritual, Christianity is another conversation for another time. So obviously I grew up Christian. So when I'm saying that I'm very spiritual, for me it started at a young age. I was very aware of people's energies. I feed off people's energies, by the way. And I always found that a bit odd about me. That, why am I like this? Which one is this? But I think in grade 10, at some point in grade 10, there was a church I was going to a lot. And that gave me an encounter with God like that. That made me realize that,
You actually saw God.
not see. No, I did not see him. But I felt his presence. I could tell that this is not a normal presence that I'm feeling around me. And I think when I faced a challenge when I dropped out, when I had that baby, that was a time when I encountered and faced God truly, because at that time I was broken. I was literally broken.
Right.
A lot of things were not going my way. And I was like, no, I don't have the strength to do this. Literally, I have no strength whatsoever. And I started opening the Bible and I started talking to God. That from now onwards, it's not about me, it's about you. And I want you to be a part of it. I think from then onwards, it was history until now. And he is still showing me who he is in my life. I think no one can define who God is for you. You have to search for him and you're going to find him.
Most definitely, amen. Amen to that.
Yes,
no, most definitely.
You have to.
Like,
you
amen
have
to
to.
that.
You have to.
But while you're talking, I'm actually just saying that you've been through a lot, actually.
I have. I have.
Definitely.
Thank God we don't look like it.
Right?
Thank God we don't look
Most
like
definitely
it.
is. But I just want to touch on depression now.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like a lot of people do go through it. I don't know if it's safe for me to say that you've also had your kind of share of being depressed.
Yeah.
Because when things just don't work in your way, there's frustrations, there's a lot of things that are on your plate, So how did you deal with that?
So, disclaimer, I am not a psychologist. I am not diagnosing myself right now. I am not sure whether it was depression or not, but we all know how it feels like to have dark days or dark months if it has to,
True.
dark years if it has to, plainly because something has happened in your life. So going back to your question, because you're asking me, how did I deal with that? I have never went through maybe a process where I have to go and visit a psychologist or anything like that. That moment for me was literally humbling. It made me realize that, life one day you can wake up, things are okay, the other, they just not.
Yeah.
And at some point, you know yourself as someone who has strength, but at some point you can wake up and not have strength at all.
Right.
That's wild because
Definitely.
I'm someone who's very confident. I'm very confident. Like I'm very confident. Like I trust I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna at
Spirit.
that moment at the so that was me. But at that moment in particular, I was like, nah, no, I can't do this. Then that's when I tapped into who God was. Because you grow up most of us in black families were introduced to churches, Christianity. Then you're like, let me find out about that God they talked about when I was young. Maybe he might help me. So when it came to me dealing with dark days, because I don't want to say depression, like I said, I don't want to diagnose myself. I've never even visited a psychologist for that matter. So I tapped into who God was. How can he assist me in this? Because the first thing I said, God, I don't think I can do this on my own. I need you to play a part.
Yeah.
I am not saying this is what you must do. I am not. If you need medical attention, please go. You know, if you need a psychologist, please go. But I'm telling you about how I did it. And by the grace of God, I'm still here.
And you definitely
Literally,
yeah.
because I also know that you're also on the grind as to trying to grow your career because you just graduated. And I know right now it's probably not the easiest.
Exactly,
how are
man.
you dealing with it? Because I can feel
it's not
that
easy.
this question is personal.
Definitely,
Yeah.
because it's not easy, man. Like, you know, working every day and it's just not happening, or you actually feel like nothing is moving.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But funny enough, what you said that it's good when you're not giving up because you might not even know how close you are.
When it's darker, just know the light is
The
closer.
light is definitely coming.
Closer.
And that's where I actually experienced, because, man, the last 5 months this year,
Yeah.
earlier on,
Yes.
was just, I was like, no, is it really going to happen? You know?
And you didn't look like your problems. Every time when I was seeing you, you're styling and shining.
You
with
mustn't.
those white shades.
Most
We
definitely.
were contemplating,
You
guys,
mustn't.
when we
You
started,
know,
should he wear the shades
like,
or not? You
rule
know?
number one.
He went...
The future, you must always know that
It's bright.
always bright.
It's bright.
You know,
It's bright.
you don't
yo.
show
Like literally.
Exactly.
I just didn't want. You know, people will be like, Mihlali, but we needed to see your face. But
Right.
I'm supporting the culture. He never looked like his problems.
most definitely. And man, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You shouldn't, because you must know, right? There are a lot of people that actually want to see that Mihlali being
Go down.
You know,
Oh, that's
They
so
actually-
powerful. That's so powerful.
They actually become happy when you actually look like your problems, you know. But when you actually show up, you know, even though a lot is happening, you will actually see. You will actually see the different energies and people not even being happy, like for you. But you must always appreciate
Yeah.
that little that actually God gives you,
Yes,
even if it's
yes.
3 people, you know, it's gonna be the
Yes.
same with this, you know, it's gonna be a very hard and long journey for you and your team. But you definitely need to know that, just appreciate the 5 viewers that are gonna view this shit.
And we were talking about it. I'm
know,
like, it's
you know,
probably gonna be 3 views.
But I'm telling you, at the end, when everything starts going up,
Yeah.
you'll look down and say, yeah, you've been through a lot.
I received that.
You know, most
I
definitely,
received
yes.
that.
And
I
I'm
definitely do.
super proud of you, man, because now you actually have a baby, right?
I do.
So how do you also deal with that? And also now you need to also get your business up and running and everything. And I know that it's not just only this podcast.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you're also doing,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you done with the question?
Yeah.
My child is not with me, right? But I go home, right? Every time, every chance I get, I'm at home. Simply, I'm this side because I'm studying, first of all, of course, and I'm trying to run my podcast and do everything and chase my dreams like that. It's literally the most difficult because I'm always thinking, oh my goodness, I'm missing moments with my child as he grows up. And I can't go back and rewind the time.
True.
It's gone. Literally, it is gone. But I keep on convincing myself and telling myself that if I'm here and I'm sacrificing this much, I gotta give it my all. Because at least I must show him later on in life, this whole time when I left you, this is what I was preparing for us.
Yeah,
You know?
right.
So yes, I do have moments where I feel like I want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore or anything. And I don't even want to say, no, my baby keeps me going. No, he's part of the reasons that keeps me going. But it can't just only be him.
Yeah.
I hate this thing of when you have a child now, it's like you don't have an identity on your own. You have no right to. You have no right
my reason of living
to feel down, to feel like you want to quit, you want to stop because you have a baby. No, he's part of the reasons why I'm grinding, but I'm also still allowed to feel like I want to give up or I want to stop or it's enough now. But I think he comes back as inspiration as to, for the time lost that I'm not with you, I'm going to show you what mommy was doing.
It's fantastic.
Literally. That's the only thing I feel about that moment. I remember we were chilling with my gents and we were talking. Everyone is talking about imposter syndrome, right? Everyone's talking about imposter syndrome. And one of the challenges I have on the ones I mentioned, my fourth one now that I'm dealing with, going back to that conversation, because it's going to lead us to wherever, is that I am battling and trying and prepping myself to be humble. I think a lot of us speak of being humble, but do we really practice that? Do we really mean that?
Right.
What happens when I get 1 million views? How do I come down? How do I remain calm that, okay, I have 1 million views, but I must not feel like, now you know what? I'm the queen now. I'm the king of this.
Nah, fuck that. But you should, man.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Maybe you should, ne?
You know, I always say this, even to my chance, that you must always enjoy your own hard work.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So if it needs beard, you need to celebrate. Like even small wins.
Yeah.
You know? But then there's that thin line
between being humble and being too big-headed.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
True, exactly.
So my struggle, and I fully agree with you, when you go big, man, props to me. I gotta have them, definitely. But my struggle is, maybe I should have emphasized it more. My struggle is, then how do you contain or establish the fine line between, am I being humble right now? Or am I being too big-headed, you know? So you never want that to happen. Because I've seen a lot of people go through that. And you're like, but if you were humble enough and calm down, you'd actually go to the next level.
Do you believe that money can change a person?
I do. I really do.
Right.
Fame can even change a person. I really do. Because you're stepping into a platform, a criteria that you are not aware of. It's something you've always dreamed of and thought you're going to walk into it. You don't know how it feels like to be a millionaire. You know millionaires, you've heard of them, but do you really know how it feels like to be one?
Yeah, and they always say,
you know,
more money, more problems.
More problems. But I also do say more money. Okay, when more money comes, it actually brings out who you truly are. Because sometimes we are humbled because I'm still functioning at a loss. So I must act as though I'm this humble person. True. But when you tap into money, now you got it all. You don't need anyone from someone else. I think the real you comes out. Are you still able to be that person who can calm down even with what you have, but you can still know the other person that that's a human being. I must treat them like that. So when I say humbleness, I mean it, because I don't want to be that person that says I'm humble now simply because I'm humble now. I'm distracted.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. I'm humble now simply because I know that I do not have. Ne? But then I want to get to a point where I do have, but I still notice the human beings around me. I still am for the people around me. I still want to assist. I can still listening to like maybe someone who's homeless and wants to talk to me and is asking me for something, and I can't say, leave me alone, you know? So I still want to be that person who interacts. That's why I'm saying one of my biggest challenges also right now is to always remain humble. I still want to go to those areas where they look like you must not go there. You must not. I still want to be.
Mara, sometimes you cannot go back to those areas because
not fully go
those
back.
People are now hungry. You know? Hey, they might.
I know. No, but like I mean it in a sense of I may not go back and be there fully, but can I also still be that person who says, I can pick up your phone call when you call me?
Yeah, true.
And you need
but
assistance.
I also want Mina, other people to then also understand that life now is different.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay for you to now be at a different location, you know. But
we are evolving.
exactly, you know, but
Yes.
they must also know that should I ever need Umihlali, I'll always call her.
That's what I'm trying to establish. And you mentioned that, and that's the truth. Because now they'll be like, Mufasa, no, now you think you are the but you are not, because you come here, you come from here, the next thing you're here, and then now you don't see us. But facts, when people evolve or upgrade in life and they hang around certain people, drink certain drinks, have certain gadgets, they've worked for it. I think that's also some part of the things that as society in general, you know, we have to work on that. Listen, when I evolve, it's either you're evolving with me or you're staying behind. But if you're staying behind, I'm willing to pull you through to come. But I can't hang around there anymore because that's not where I'm at. My whole life I've been trying to fight to get out of there. So I gotta go to the next level.
Are you ready when this podcast like takes a different level, whereas now it's too much? Are you
when you say too much,
ready?
what do you mean? When you say too much, what do you mean?
No, when it's like there up
when
there,
it's taking off.
It's taking way off. Like we are talking.
I'm not.
We're talking like big people wanting to be here from New York. You know.
I'm not ready. I'm never ready. Can I mention this? I'm never ready. I just try to prep good enough to calm myself down. I'm never ready because I've realized that for some spaces or platforms in life, you can prepare, but until you land and get there, you will truly understand whether you were ready or you were not ready. I am not, because yes,
true.
I have this huge dream that I want to be in New York and whatever, and if it happens and I feel like but this is not what I anticipated, what is going to happen? So I can never say I'm truly ready, but I try to prep up for it. I try to prep up for it, literally try to prep up for it, so that at least even if I'm making mistakes, but I tried. Right. I tried here. So truly, I'm never fully prepared, but I always emphasize on prep yourself because you never know where you're going.
And then how's that feeling when you finally get what you want, you know? Like for instance,
today, because I'm thinking
like for this, because you've been, because I personally know that you've always talked about this, you know, that hey Mufasa, it's
and the people
for the
around
last 2
me
years
know.
now, right now, exactly, you know. So how's the feeling is that now you are actually really kicking it?
I'm actually shooting and I'm actually doing it.
Yeah.
To be honest, you are experiencing the moment with me right now.
And I'm very humble.
You are experiencing the moment with me right now because a couple of hours ago, I was in my room and I'm like, they're probably going to call me and tell me, no, we can't do it today. Because I've had so many people say, we're doing it, we're not doing it, we're doing it, we're not doing it. So coming here today, I'm enjoying the present moment. I think I'm going to reflect after it when we say, okay, cut, it's over. Then I'll be like, what? Did we really do that?
We really do this?
How I'm feeling right now, it feels so unreal. But it's almost like, but I've imagined this. I've had it play in my mind and it's actually happening right now. Really, really happening. So it's haunted me for years. And I'm finally doing it right now. And it baby steps gradually. That's what I want, a steady growth. This is where I'm at. And I think I'm very grateful for it. Because I remember watching a podcast. It was the McG one. There was Scoop Makatini. So
I know that episode. Fuck. Shout out to Scoop.
Let me plant another thing to the universe. I got to have Scoop on my podcast. We need to talk. I think there's going to be a point in my life where I'm interviewing people I've always sat down and thought that nigga's cool, you know, cool. Or that girl is cool. So when that happens, the scoop comes, then I'll start saying, no, we are leaving the moment. Because I remember watching him on a podcast and he was emphasizing on, I can't really quote him directly, but he's saying,
is it on the MacG podcast?
Yes, you will forever be haunted by who you are supposed to be.
True.
From a young age, I always wanted to be a presenter. I think at some point, maybe my parents thought, nah, this thing is just a now thing, because she's still young and she's still, and I grew older and older and older. Here I am. I had to literally, Abokowela, wherever you are, you guys know this. You will be called. You will start dreaming. You will start seeing that, now I can't do this anymore. I gotta drop everything and go and do what I am here for. So hopefully what I'm here for is truly going to be fruitful, God willing.
It will definitely be.
It's definitely gonna get to where we're at.
It will definitely be, because just like me, it's not easy doing what you love, but you always need to remind yourself that what you have is a gift.
Yeah.
I always say this, you know.
Okay.
It's a gift, you know.
10 minutes, we have to wrap it up.
It's not just talent,
yeah,
you know, but
it's a gift. It's a calling.
It's a
calling,
you know.
For
whether
real.
it can be acting, this also, you know, this is just a calling for someone to look at this podcast and learn from it, you know, and experience a lot.
Absolutely.
And take note. You understand? So more than anything, I'm just really happy that you're already kicking it. So excited about the other episodes to come, because this is just the laying the foundation on what to expect. You know, and definitely, just to sum it up, what can your viewers really expect?
I think expect a lot of different episodes with different people, different locations. Some days I'm talking current affairs. Some days I'm talking street culture. Some days I'm talking fashion, you know. So expect a lot of different conversations with different people all around Johannesburg. If I have to go wherever it's happening, I'm definitely going to be there. Also, most importantly, I like stories of people who have started from the bottom up. You know, I really, because I know there's a lot of, I was sitting there hoping that things would happen, thinking how did he do it? So I want to have conversations with people like that to inspire other people so that they know that it's possible and it's doable, you know. So that's
and
what
it definitely
want.
is. Definitely is.
And I can't stress how much I am happy to have you here on my very first episode.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I feel so blessed. The fact that I came to you in those short moments and you agreed to it, I am so happy and so grateful. What you're doing today can't be undone, literally.
Definitely is. But I just want to also say that I'm very happy for you, you know. It's one thing to just talk about something, but it's another thing when you literally doing it, you know. I know there's a lot of people outside there that would love to do what you do, you know, but they probably feel some type of discourage or way, but you've overcome a lot of things and you're here. So from here, it's only to the top. It's only to the top.
Definitely to the top. Don't you want to give them your socials?
Most definitely. I'm on Instagram, Lutlolo _999. You know, I'm also on Facebook, Lutlolo Sonabile. And then,
So when you guys see him on TV, just know that he's the guy who did my first episode with me. We're ending the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys are going to subscribe. Most importantly, I want to see you guys comment on the comment section. We're literally closing off this episode. And from me, your girl, Mimi M, it is goodbye.
We out.
I didn't want to fly.